Welcome to Marketing Made Easy for HR Consultants, the podcast that helps you attract more leads, win more clients, and take control of where your next piece of business comes from. I'm your host, Nick Paninsky. Let's get into today's episode.
Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of Marketing Made Easy for HR Consultants with me, Nick Paninsky. Today we are super lucky. We have got Paul Neal back on the show. He is going to talk to us about his experiences inside the Success Squad. Hello again, Paul.
Good morning, Nick. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks, mate. Are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Very well. It's good to be back.
Awesome. I love it. It's good to have you back. So for those who have not yet listened or need a reminder about who you are and what you do, but give us a 1 minute elevator pitch. Who are you?
So my name is Paul. I support both I support charity trustees and leaders that are worn out by the issues that they're facing, whether they're tired because of the governance or HR issues that they're facing. They want a clear way forward in terms of getting their charity back to the mission that they're focusing on. I am that guy in the background. Yeah, essentially, that's me behind Verdant Purpose. Been doing it about a year, supported about 25 charities so far doing this. And yeah, a year ago, this was but a dream.
Yes, I love that. So Verdant Purpose. I like that name. Very cool. So let me get these questions. Are you ready? Because we don't need to go. Well, for anyone who wants more of a deep dive into Paul's world, I'll refer you to part 1. And this is going to be part 2. So Paul, obviously we have worked together before. We've obviously recorded a testimonial at the end of that. So rather than going over all that old ground, what happened between finishing working with me then and then you've decided to join up with the Success Squad again?
So I think what changed from then was that was a fixed point in time. We were in a quite a quick fire, like I want to call it version 1 of the Success Squad. It was the sprint. Because of my kind of personal circumstances, wasn't able to make all the sessions kind of in the moment on the day. So I was often playing catch up thereafter. Felt really well supported during it, but then afterwards kind of missed an element of that motivation, the weekly kind of like support. I was going to say antagonist, but yeah, the weekly support that I got was really kind of helpful. And then afterwards, it just kind of stalled. Few things worked. Had a few really like good months of being in that kind of feast cycle of the feast-or-famine cycle. And then afterwards, kind of like, oh, this just seemed me a bit further away than what I liked. So yeah, so I reached back out and was like, what are my options? Is there like another Success Squad to join? That's not quite ready for, I think the fast track formula, I think is the other one. Wasn't quite ready for that. And yeah, so the next iteration is the Success Squad, from what I understand, is more of an ongoing situation. It's much more collegiate, much more interactive, much more working together. Yeah, and it kind of, from what I could see from the people that were on it and from what I'd seen from the information, it felt much more of a kind of ongoing sport rather than in this door, onto the conveyor belt, out the other door, job done.
Oh, well, yeah. I think you're right there. Like as you say, Success Squad. You guys were version 2.0 really, actually, because it was previously like a weekly, monthly, what we're doing now. And then I changed it into a bit of a sprint, which is what you, Lucia, and Nicola did. And then I brought it back for version 3.0, which is how it's staying forever now. It is that continuous support, as you say, with that curriculum, I want to say. So there's a plan.
Yeah, I mean, I think what works about it is not only we get because in version 2, we sent stuff to you, we got feedback direct from you, but with version 3, not only do we get the feedback from you, but we also get the kind of opinion of other HR consultants. You also get the ability to look at what they're doing and go, oh, that's a really good idea. I think I'm going to steal that. So it works both ways. Yeah.
I think that was the thing that I was thinking as well. And yeah. And there are opportunities for sprints as well inside the Success Squad. They'll be getting an email on Tuesday just to say, listen, this is what we're doing. Do you want to move faster? And if you do, then hit reply and whatever. And so there are those opportunities still there. But I think if you want to stay in I guess for want of a better phrase, I want to say it's an incubator. then you are more than welcome to do that. So, but let me go back though. What made you think, actually, I want Nick's help again?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
I think, like, without making you sound like a tool, you'd worked before. So I was kind of like, I'm a simple person. Like, it worked before in terms of the initial startup. You know, without going over what we covered in episode 1, all those bits of like, you know, reading your book and going, you know, insert expletive here. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I've done that sort of thing. I think you'd helped in the earlier stages. So it kind of made sense that you might help in the later stages as well.
Yeah, that's good. And has it worked out that way?
So far, so good, because I've kind of gone back over and refreshed that, which I did at the start of the kind of setting the business up. It's still early days yet.
Because you're balancing full-time work with building a part-time HR consultancy.
Well, I'm also managing part-time burnout. No, so it's going well, but kind of like the early indicators. So I used one of your like email. I think you called it a wolf whistle. I think it was.
It is a wolf whistle.
Yeah, but I sent that out to people and was like, you know, who wants to work with me? And I've received those emails from you, so I've seen them. Yeah. And it worked. And I was like, well, stuff you and your simple solutions. I'm being really good at not swearing on this podcast. But yeah, so it worked. And I was like, cool. Well, if that works, what else will work? And obviously the short, sharp, quick things are easier for me to implement with the fact of being limited on time. But a lot of the in-depth, more background stuff, the deeper content I am working on, I'm just going to be slower than others because I'm already doing other stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. So when you sent out that wolf whistle, you got an immediate bite of the cherry.
I've got 2.
They immediately came back to you, and then you got them on the call. And what happened then? Tell us about that little.
So both. One of them was just like I was already working with them at kind of a lower level, and they were interested in kind of upgrading what I provided to them. So that was, you know, they already trusted me, they already knew me, they were already working with me. And it was really easy to explain to them what the difference was between, you know, this is this is you getting a bag of crisps, this is chips, you know, or something in terms of like a lovely food metaphor level upgrade. And they were kind of happy with that, agreed on the call, off we've gone, everything started. The second one had been a avid, like almost probably like 95% open rate on my emails and the newsletter since October last year. Very much opening, clicking through links and everything, but never really kind of like engaging. They, you know, for all intents and purposes, they were like a cold lead. But then they replied and was like, yes, count me in. We've got this massive spicy problem. So I was like, cool, let's jump on a call, did the pitch. And then I was like, I'm not going to send you a proposal. We're going to ask for a deposit. And then we're going to talk through the sales call later on in the week. And what I found, one, they paid me for that proposal, which was weird. But the sales call afterwards was clever because what I noticed was all the objections that they were coming up with in the call, and I was able to kind of course correct and adjust and come up with ideas and everything around how we might do it. In building that, I also used the chat in the success squad around, oh my God, I've got this thing. What do I do? Help. And a few people came in and offered ideas, including yourself. And that one's now said yes as well.
Amazing.
So it's worked. I'm definitely an advocate of the kind of like double sales call, unless you can give the clear pricing indication on the actual call with the person. But yeah, it's definitely a different way of doing it to, you know, loading a pitch to a trebuchet and hoping it lands somewhere near where they're expecting. Yeah, we'll see. So yeah, I've kind of those like wolf whistle ones I'm planning to send out like once a quarter and see what I get in terms of responses. Because by the very fact of like, you know, I've had that many, I wonder who else is like, you know, nearing the point where they want to.
Send out one a month, mate.
One a month?
Why not?
I mean, yeah, but I worry about like, would it be spamming people, you know?
I mean, you know, I know this is a testimonial call rather than a coaching video, but I mean, you know, I think I've said this to you before, but my mentor always said to me, email them until they buy, they die, or they unsubscribe. I mean, listen, It's a bit harsh. It's a bit.
The average age of a trustee in the UK is 65, so one of them may be closer than the other.
There you go. So,
fair enough. Okay, I must switch to
the reality is, like, people love to buy, and if you're not giving them the opportunity, then they won't buy because they don't know about it. It's like going to McDonald's or whatever, and they automatically offer you that upgrade. Some people take it, some people don't. And some people just don't shop at McDonald's, and that's fine.
And it's why when you get in the drive-thru, they go, anything else?
Yeah.
And the idea of you kind of, and you're right, because I remember one of the things you said in the Success Squad was about get me to the, rather than like send the pitch and be like, oh, would you mind awfully possibly sometime coming back to me between now and the heat death of the universe? Your response was, get the book on a call. Book on a call. Everything should be book on a call. And I'm like, okay, fine, I will do this. So yeah, it's working. It's annoying that it's working, but I love it.
Good. So you sent out the wolf whistle, you got them on a call, you got them to pay you for a proposal, which is obviously not something you'd ever done before. You've just said that. Would you have approached the opportunity in the same way if you hadn't been in the Success Squad?
No, because I wouldn't have known. I'd have done what I did before, which I'd still, I had the sales script from version 2 of the Success Squad, which was still working. It's still, it got me clients before, but I wouldn't have done the kind of double follow-up call. It would have been a kind of like a pitch and hope to, jab them to death from several hundred miles away with an email. Yeah, it would have been very different. I wouldn't have been paid for the proposal. Yeah.
As well, when you don't get paid for the proposal, there is less chance of you then getting the client. Like, unless you get them on a call and literally sell them something, if you send them a proposal, you will be ignored.
Yeah, or you'll end up being a comparator for them to show for other people.
Yeah. Still, anyway, this isn't a coaching call, so
true.
We can do that later, mate.
I know.
So how are you finding the Success Squad this time around? What's useful?
I would say the most useful thing is probably the Facebook group. I mean, don't get me wrong, the site with the video learning is great, but obviously that requires you to be in a space where you've got the ability to kind of listen and watch and whatnot. And whereas the ability to kind of just jump on the group on your phone, check out what others are doing, kind of the feedback loom videos, they're ideal because you can pause them, do the work, replay it, do a bit more sort of thing. So it's a lot more, it's more accessible, it's more bite size. Yeah, I'd say that's probably my favorite part of it, is the kind of the group mentality of it and the kind of seeing what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, cool. And do you feel like you're getting money? Do you think you're getting value for money from the Success Squad?
I love the fact I hesitated. Yes, because I got like 2 clients. I got one upgraded and one new client from using the wolf whistle. So kind of have got an immediate return on the investment. Yeah, I suppose part of that is that, the kind of the continuous engagement is understanding kind of what other tips and tricks and kind of magic is hidden behind the proverbial curtain that can, support me more in this kind of consultancy era. Yeah, no, definitely getting value for money from the first, I think within 5 days that I did that bit. So yeah, it's worked out so far. But
massive return on investment. We paid for what, your year's membership?
A bit. Yeah, it's easily paid for a year's membership, Nick, honest.
I'm not going to ask you for the finances here. But yes, that is the idea, because that's the quick fire win, which is included inside the pipeline playbook. Like you said, there's that wolf whistle, which is there to get you a result as quickly as possible in order to get the money in your pocket. So yes. So question. You've worked with me before, you've gone away, you've now chosen to come back and join the Success Squad. If a HR consultant was looking at the membership page right now, wondering whether or not to join, what would you say to you?
I would say, well, firstly, I'd say try it. But secondly, I mean, I've referred a few people to your book as kind of the low ticket kind of bar to entry sort of thing, in terms of like, it's got a lot of issues in it. Everyone starts out with, I'm gonna try and be everyone's cup of tea, so I end up just being a mug. All the kind of like the random kind of stuff that we go, oh, that's a really unique idea because ChatGPT told me so, and then everyone does the exact damn same thing. Yeah, I would say that you talk a lot of sense. You what you said and say to people, go give this a try. It works. There is an element of me that's like, why didn't I think of this before? But it does work. And yeah, I would say that, not only from the first interaction with you and the first coaching call that we had kind of delivered value from that, but yet to interact with you and not get value from it. So I don't think it's time wasted or money wasted, anyone kind of working with you.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate hearing that, mate. I'm glad I'm able to help you as well.
Yeah, and I like winding you up as well. So that kind of
I love it too, mate.
Bless your heart.
All right. So one final question. You'd already worked with me before. Why didn't you just take what you'd already learned and carry on by yourself? Help me properly understand that bit.
I think there's a couple of bits to that for me. One, I've loved what I've learned in the self-employed kind of consultancy space over the last year. On one hand, it's given me a great variety of skills. On the other hand, I think, as you call it, I have paid the dumb tax heavily in terms of trying stuff, learning stuff, it working, it not working. Clients who I've been really excited to work with and then just not been able to. And I've had a couple of moments in the last year where I've gone, is this all really worth it? But coming back to the whole, I felt like I did my best work when you and I worked together. I liked the accountability that you held me to. Yeah, it felt like it fit. And the whole kind of being in the consultancy space, particularly in a team of one, I have no intent to change that. But that doesn't change the fact that it's quite lonely. To have someone to talk to who has been there before, who knows what it's like to be in that space where, it can knock you off if things don't work. You can put effort in and it not work out. But that ability to go, one, that, everyone does this. Two, that there is an alternative way. And three, if you like shortcuts, like running ads, like, list building, that sort of thing, then getting some support with that is really key. Because I've got access to the old Success Squad 2.0 video content and everything. I've looked at it twice because it's not my preference of learning.
Okay. What is your preference of learning?
No. No. My preference of learning is that whole take an idea, understand how it applies to me, immediately put it into practice. I'm very much a like FAFO kind of person rather than any sort of like deep thinking, think about it for 8 weeks before I do anything. I would rather launch something that's going to be about, a 20% first draft than get it to perfect and then never launch it.
I love that. That's why you get results as well, to be fair, mate. Because there's people who will try and make everything perfect. You can never make everything perfect. Version 1 is better than version none.
Yep.
And as I've said to you and many others before, to get the best grade from the best university in the land, Cambridge University, you only have to be right, to get that first. You only have to be right 70% of the time, 7 out of 10. So if that's good enough for them, why is it not good enough for you personally?
Right, exactly. And, what's the degree worth these days?
Well, there is that. But I think as well, before we go down that route, I think as well, it is important to say, like, you will only find out if something works if you take it to market and find out if it works. And when you find out it does work, keep going. If it doesn't work, then you need to review what you're doing and change. Yeah. It's not rocket science. But anyway, is there anything else that you want to say that we've not talked about?
looking forward to what version 4 of the Success Squad looks like. No, I think that for anyone who's not like worked with you yet, get on a webinar, have a look at the book. You know, you do make a lot of sense. There's not the version you get on the book, in the calls, in the webinar is the exact same version as what everyone else gets. There's no different version behind the curtain. You're a pleasure to work with.
Oh, thanks, Manny. You too.
Pleasure.
Awesome. Well, I haven't got any more questions. I'm conscious you've got a call in 20 minutes for a client, or is it a sales call? Fine call. Excellent. Is it one of the ones from the Wolf Whistle?
It is indeed.
Woo! Exciting.
Hope I don't banjax it. We'll see.
Fair enough. Well, listen, I'm not going to keep you any longer. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your experience again. And yeah, that's it, really.
Thanks, Nick.
No problem. For those of you listening along at home, I hope this episode has been interesting and educational. Thank you for listening along. And as ever, get marketing, because without marketing, there's no sales. And without sales, there's no business. So get marketing.
Thanks for listening to Marketing Made Easy for HR Consultants. If you've enjoyed today's episode, follow the podcast so you don't miss the next one, and feel free to share it with another HR consultant who might find it useful. I'm Nick Paninsky. See you next time.